Good morning and welcome to our community affairs program that we call 30 Minutes. Today our special guest is Obion County Director of Schools Tim Watkins, and it's always a pleasure to have Tim in the studio. It's been a while. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk with you, and I always appreciate y'all's support of our school system.
I slip in his back door of his office quite often and talk to him about things, and I know you hear him on the news, but it's good to have him here in front of us because it's fair to say that you have a lot going on.
Yeah, we have something to do every day at the school, so it's a busy time of year for us in the spring period. School systems tend to get busier as the school goes, and then we'll get out on the 23rd and catch our breath for a little bit before we start all over.
We'll be sending another group of senior students out into the world or into additional education. I know you look forward to that because that's a great accomplishment.
Well, yeah, anytime you have a graduating class, it's a bittersweet situation. You know, when you've had kids, and it's really the closer you are daily you work with them, the more so the teachers and principals that are day-to-day contact with those kids. It's sad in that it's a change. I mean, you've got kids, it's almost like a parent with kids leaving home, but then again, you're excited for them because they've accomplished what we set out for them to accomplish, and they're ready to move on with life. And so you're happy for them that they've reached that milestone in their life and they're moving on with whatever direction they've chosen to go.
And you've seen it for many years as a teacher, principal, now director of schools.
This will be 31.
31 years. Mm-hmm. And how many years here now in Obion County?
I'm finishing up my 6 years director here,
wow.
Yes.
That's gone by pretty fast, hasn't
blink of an eye.
Yes. And we talk about graduating students. As soon as we do graduate them and close the classes out, it's not a day or two that you're starting summer school, aren't you?
Yeah, we start summer school. We'll get done on the 23rd, take Memorial Day weekend, and we'll start summer school that Tuesday.
Yeah. So it's rolling almost year-round.
Yeah, it's schools have shifted from what a lot of people think about the old schools of where you didn't go to school until Labor Day and you got out by Memorial. Those don't exist anymore. We start 1st of August and we go to the end of May, and summer school runs for another 4 weeks, and then we'll get ready to start another school year.
Yeah. Actual instruction days that you have to have during the school year is what?
180 days. Our
180.
students in the state of Tennessee have to have 180 days of instruction. Teachers have 200-day contract that they work, and then we'll kick in summer school. We go 16 days of summer school.
And I guess as far as you and your position and your staff there at the school board office, you're going to school now, but you're preparing for next year, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We start at the board office. I mean, if we're not preparing for the next year in January, we're probably behind. We're always working at a minimum 6 months ahead of where we are actually in the school year. You know, that's being at that level of administration is planning ahead. Yeah. So.
Well, today I want to talk to you about the latest proposal that came up this week at the school board meeting called Obion County Virtual Academy.
Yes.
Explain to us as we start just what that is.
Well, what we're going to hopefully be able to do is offer to our families in Obion County a online option. I guess a good way of doing it would be a hybrid of being a homeschool student while still maintaining their enrollment in our school system. We've seen a trend in recent years, especially on the tail end of the pandemic. We've seen a shift nationwide, really, of being homeschool being a more common choice from families. And so in realizing that is something that the people in Obion County are more interested in than they used to be, we want to provide that option. It's affecting our student enrollment. We're seeing students leave us for homeschool situations, and when we talk to the families about why, it's normally just because they feel like that's a better option for them and their students. school choice is something you hear a lot of these days, both locally, state level, and nationwide. So this is just a way of providing more school choice for our families while again keeping them enrolled in Obion County schools. So we're going to give it a try. I think we're going to see what kind of response we get. We're not looking to go into this with a really large number of students to start with. We're going to keep the numbers relatively small to start so that we can manage it and see what kind of response we get and make decisions in the future as to whether we need to grow or not.
So you will determine how many students can.
Right.
Because I was going to ask you that question. What if a large amount of students decided to go this route?
Well,
that takes kids from your building.
Right. That's correct. That's another, one of the reasons we're not attempting to take kids out of our current enrolled buildings. I mean, our primary target audience on this are those families that have chosen to leave our school system to go into either independent homeschool or some type of online homeschool association, and try to see if we can offer them compatible services free of charge. I mean, because we are a public school, so we cannot charge for this. Some of these families are paying tuition to online agencies to offer education, and we're going to offer them the same thing for free, and with the chance of earning a diploma from Obion County schools, because a lot of these associations that parents are choosing to go to for homeschool, they do not receive an accredited diploma when they finish their school. Sometimes they end up having to come and take a GED exam just to have any type of diploma, or they graduate from an association that's not in the state of Tennessee, so therefore their diploma is not accredited by the state of Tennessee, which can cause them some problems post-secondary. So we're going to see what it is, see what we can do. But no, we're going to, just like with any all our buildings have a limit on capacity. I mean, we can only have so many kids in each building to pay, they can't handle any more. The same thing with our virtual academy. We're going to set a capacity, and that's what we're going to go for starting out. It'll be very small starting out.
Currently, how many kids do you have that are homeschool students now, approximately?
We have to report this to the state twice a year. Our last report that we did, our mid-year report in December, we had 224 students that would be, if they weren't homeschooled, would be enrolled in Obion County schools.
What kind of number are you projecting for this virtual academy?
It's going to be grades 6 through 8, and we're looking to keep that at around 40 starting out. I won't get into technicalities of laws and things that have driven that number as well. But like I said, if it's something that we can have some good success with, we'll think about expansion in the future. But we won't. I don't want to have so many kids it becomes unmanageable right off the start. So as we work the kinks out, and as we work our way through getting it established and making it a long-term solution, we want to start small so it could be easier to manage.
So it's 6 through 8.
6 through 12.
6 through 12. I thought the literature said 6 through 12.
6, 8, 6, 12.
So 6 through 12.
Yeah.
Now, with this, Tim, if a student decides to go this route, will you still receive the state funding for them?
Yes.
Like you do a regular student?
Yes, I mean, because they will be, if we received board approval, the next step is state approval. And if the State Department of Education approves us starting this, then they will issue us a school number, they call it, which means we'll have an ID, a state ID for that school, and that school will generate revenue based on the state's funding formula.
So they will take the same amount of classes or same classes?
Have same requirements, yes.
As a student that's in school. How do you monitor this? Will that student at home be required to be in class or be online from like 8 to 3 like a regular student?
That's part of it. It's the flexibility of it. Now, yes, they're going to have to do the same amount of work but they have the flexibility. That family will have the flexibility of when that is done. The curriculum, the classes will be delivered online. So it's a matter of logging in, pulling up the class that you're needing to work on. If it's Algebra 1, then you go into the Algebra 1 lesson for that day, go through the material with the online instruction, complete the assignments. We will monitor it on a daily basis of, one, did you sign in like you're supposed to? Did you log in? Did you do what you're supposed to? Because we'll be able to see all that. We'll be able to see what they're doing, what kind of progress they're making. And then, on our end, I mean, we're required to have an administrator of that school. So that person will be responsible for checking every day on kids that are assigned to that school. Did they log in when they're supposed to? Have they submitted the assignments they're supposed to? Are they on track? Not only are they submitting, are they passing? Are they making the grades? Are they meeting the requirements that we set forth for them? And if so, then we keep on moving. And if not, then that conversation has to be had with that student and those parents of, hey, if you're going to maintain this is what you've got to do. You've got to meet these expectations. Or if you can't meet these expectations, then this may not be the best option for you. You may be better off in a traditional school. Because there is, to be successful in a homeschool situation or in a virtual situation, it takes some self-discipline. I mean, you've got to have some self-discipline or support system that ensures that the students are doing what they're supposed to do on a daily basis.
So there's checks and balances on those.
That's right. This is not just a way of saying, hey, here you go. Do this work, turn it in by the end of the week, and we'll give you credit. That's not what it is. There's going to be some daily expectations out of these students.
Where will you operate this from?
The base, as far as address or phone number, I guess it's going to be attached, is going to be out of Obion County Central High School. Their administrative staff is going to support us in this with the number of students we're dealing with. We'll supply each child with a device, a laptop. Now, families will be responsible for internet connectivity. So that will be a thing for those families that are looking at possibly participating in this. They're going to have good internet access because it's just web-based. So they will have to have that ability to log onto our net, through that device onto the network that's providing the materials, and and that's if they don't have that at home, they need to know where the local free places that you can get internet. Go to the library, go to the city park in Troy, there's lots of places that Gibson Connects has put up throughout the county, and they're even expanding that, to putting that up for people to have access. So because having good internet access is becoming almost a necessity for normal life. So
that is true. Will teachers be involved with this program?
To a limited extent. Some of ours may be, depending on a class. We're not asking them to teach additional classes, but you got to have a teacher record for every class that's taught. So there may be a situation where, depending on a class, I mean, especially an upper level class, I could see possibly one of our upper level teachers having to be involved in, say, a dual enrollment math class, English class.
So this won't be like a Zoom type of situation where they're sitting in front of their laptop and the teacher is teaching to them. It will not be that scenario.
No. It's more of it is self-paced in that they can go as hard and fast as they want to go, but they're still going to have daily requirements that they have to meet. So,
again, today we are speaking with Obion County Director of Schools, Tim Watkins. It's always a pleasure to speak with Director Watkins. Does this program have to be approved by the state before it can be implemented?
Yes. That was at the school board meeting. The board approved, so next step is we have a application that we're in the process of completing. Has to be submitted to the state of Tennessee by June the 1st. and then we'll go through the approval process. Of course, locally, while we're doing that, we're going to start the recruiting process, I guess, for lack of a better term, of reaching out to families that we know of that are currently homeschooling or working through some type of online association, and engaging some interest. We've done that somewhat informally so far, and have had some people said, yeah, we're very interested in it, but we will start the process of scheduling, having public open meetings for interested families to come in and ask questions and find out really what the expectations are, because there will be some that this will be a great thing for, and there will be some that this won't be. That won't fit with their needs. So,
but this could bring some additional students into the school system.
We're hoping,
you're saying,
yes. Yeah. I mean, we've lost 63 kids this school year to homeschool, and just yesterday, I had my budget hearing with the county budget committee, and one of the things that always comes up every year, and that is our student enrollment. Mm-hmm. And, we're looking at our student enrollment being down 25, 30 kids from what it was last year. Whereas if I'm not losing 63 kids to homeschool, we're talking about our growth. So it's not, that's really becoming the issue that's driving some of the local school systems, not just Obion County, that are seeing enrollment drops. It's not some of it, a lot of it has to do with population in the area of Northwest Tennessee, Southwest Kentucky, that we're seeing just in this shrink in our populations, but also the homeschool option being more common now is causing a further drop in student enrollment in schools. When I started teaching school 31 years ago, you might know of 2 or 3 people in your community that homeschooled their children, whereas now it's pretty common. A lot more to it.
So am I fair to say that you're kind of looking at a transition of those who are already doing this in another way coming into your system, instead of you possibly losing some that you already have now in the classroom who may go to that, right?
Ideally, that's what we would hope. It's just like any business trying to get customers from your competition.
Right.
I mean, these online homeschool associations have become competition for public schools, and so we're trying to offer a product that will bring those customers back to us. Is a good way to look at it.
Yeah. And also, these students who participate in programs like this now, they can play sports at your schools, right?
That is correct. I mean, the state of Tennessee has laws in place that allow, and TSSAA does as well. They will be eligible for extracurricular activities at the school at which they would be zoned to attend if they were enrolled in one of our traditional schools.
Does this include like cheerleaders and band and
they have access to any of our programs? Yeah.
Right. And that is pretty new, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, I mean that has come out of, again, the growth of homeschool across the state of Tennessee, is the legislature putting things in place to make sure that those students had access. I mean, it doesn't guarantee a kid a spot on the basketball team, but it guarantees them the opportunity to try out and see if they can earn that. So,
what about a graduation ceremony for these? Because you said
those
up
are
to
one
12
of the things
grades.
that we will have to, that we're going to, as we build through this process, we will do. But we will provide some type of graduation ceremony for those students. It hadn't been decided whether it would be separate yet, or whether we allow them to walk the line with the school that they. More than likely, we will do something separate, a smaller, separate ceremony at the appropriate time.
But you did say earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, that with the Obion County Virtual Academy, they will actually receive a diploma.
Yes, they will receive a state of Tennessee diploma. They'll have a high school diploma.
Yeah. Your thoughts of this? You excited about it, or is this just a try? Or
I'm excited about the possibilities.
Right.
Anytime it's something new, I always have some hesitation, because I always think there's something out there that I haven't thought of, or there's something and there will be something that will come up that we didn't anticipate. Some scenario that will come up with an individual student, or there'll be some hurdle that the state will throw at us that we had no idea was coming. So,
do you know any other school systems who currently do this?
Right now, Henry County is running they have a virtual academy that they actually started during the pandemic and never closed. Although I think they're looking at altering theirs a little bit because of some changes that have happened at the state level in the last year or so that is going to alter their operations. I know Decatur County is running one, and those two I know because we have visited with both of those school systems to see how they're operating. There's several across the state. There's a lot more than people realize. A lot of school systems are doing this.
Had it not been for the pandemic, would we even be talking about this now, you think?
Probably not. Well, possibly. But, I think it kind of sped the process up, and it made it more of something that school systems had to do.
You had to change with the times.
Whether you think it's good or bad, it's personal opinion, but I think one thing the pandemic did in the United States of America was it showed people how they could stay home. And whether you really think that's good or bad, I don't know. I've seen both sides of it. I think from school side, or if I'm running Tyson or Titan Tire or anything like that, it wasn't a good thing because you need people to show up and physically work every day. And I think still the very large 90-something% of America still requires people to show up and do their job every day in order for us to be successful. But there are some things out there that can be done virtually at the speed of the person doing it. I have a 28-year-old daughter that what she does for a living changed when the pandemic hit, and she still works from home. Her clients, she learned they learned, okay, your kind of job can be done without a brick and mortar office. She's a graphic designer, so it was all done online anyway. So it's just, she continues to do that and probably will forever. People have realized that there's some things that can be done without having to physically be present in an office every day. I will say this. We're excited about the opportunity of offering this to our families. I do truly believe that you cannot beat a face-to-face instruction. I want to say to be very clear about that. That there is no better education available for kids than being in a classroom with a teacher, a highly effective teacher that's doing their job. No computer is going to replace that. No online instruction is going to replace that. But I'm not going to stick my head in the sand and say that we don't have families out there that this is the route, this is what they want for their kids, this is how they want their kids to be educated. And we as a person that's responsible for education in this county, I've got to try to provide services where I can.
Tim, when do you see this starting?
Well, we hope to start in August of 25. We hope to have, we have the devices. It's not a materials thing. We already have the licensing with the online curriculum instruction company. We already use them for some other supplemental activities in our school. So the level of license that we already have with them, we're going to be able to roll 40 kids into it without any additional cost. We're already doing the part of it, so that's another reason it made it easy to shift with a smaller group of students. Is by staying with a smaller group of students, we could add this service, work out the bugs, make sure it's something we want to continue long term without asking any additional dollars out of the taxpayers.
Your school board all on board for this?
They voted unanimously for it. So.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. we have about 3-4 minutes left. You had a marathon budget meeting this week talking about funding for the school system. Give us a quick scenario of how that went.
Well, it was long. First thing, longest one we've had. That's just part of the annual process of the budget, is me going before our budget committee and them asking questions about our budget and just coming to an understanding of where we are financially as a school system. And of course, our county court is our funding body, so which means, in simple terms, it means they're responsible by law. They're responsible for providing the revenue necessary to operate our schools. And before they provide that revenue, they always have a lot of questions about what I'm doing with that revenue. We're at a crossroads in our county with our school system. Expenses have gone up every year. As anybody that has bought a dozen eggs or a loaf of bread or stopped to get gas knows, expenses have gone up, and those expenses exist in school systems as well. And as things go up, revenue has not increased at the county level in many, many years. And I'm not saying anything to try to throw anybody on the bus, because they realize that, our county court, they acknowledge that. We've been operating we've been operating 7 schools for a long time, off of the same amount of revenue, same dollar figure for a long time. Our student population has dropped gradually since there was a major shift in industry in the county several years ago. It's been a steady, slow decline. But yet the funding has maintained steady. But yet we've just it's gotten to a point that the expenditures have finally outgrown the revenue. And county budget committee acknowledged that yesterday. We have made cuts for the last several years. We've cut. And they acknowledged yesterday that they realize that there's just not a lot else we can do cut-wise and maintain operating the current operation school system. So they tabled our budget till this coming Monday. They're going to have another budget meeting after the county commission meeting, and hopefully they'll pass our budget. And really they needed some time to figure out how they were going to fund it. So that's where we are, and hopefully I got faith that they're going to figure out a way to keep us funded and keep us moving for another year while the current feasibility study that's been ordered by the county is being completed. So,
and your budget each year is about what?
It's going $35 million, $35 to $36 million.
Have you, as you have said many times over the past few months, education has not gotten any cheaper?
No, it doesn't get cheaper. And our governor, I agree with what he did. I just wish there had been more money from the state to do it, was increasing our teachers' pay to try to get us on par with the other states in the southeast United States. And we're moving in that direction, but that has a price tag. And textbooks go up every year, computers go up every year, food for the cafeteria goes up every year. And if cost goes up, you either have to have more money to pay for it or you have to do less stuff. And we're at a point we can't do less stuff without doing harm to our kids. So that's where we are.
Obion County Director of Schools, Tim Watkins. Again, it's always a pleasure to talk with Tim. He has very good information. He's on top of it all. He's done a great job here in the Obion County school systems, and we appreciate you very much. Appreciate your time always. And
well, I'm just glad to be able to get in here and talk. I love talking about our schools. That's my favorite subject, other than my granddaughter. So,
appreciate you coming by.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that concludes this week's 30 Minutes program. We hope you enjoyed today's show. And, of course, we invite you to tune in again next week at this same time as we bring you topics and information of importance to our community. From all of us here at Thunderbolt Broadcasting, until we meet again next week, I'm Charles Choate.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.